I've been going to the Y since '94. Everybody respect me. Don't nobody bother me on the machines or anything.
How much cardio do you do?
70 minutes.
So how do you break it up?
30 on the treadmill, 20 on the with the 20 on the
Day 3 of Terence "Bud" Crawford's intense training camp for the Canelo Alvarez super fight, and the man doesn't just look locked in, he's glowing, smiling like $100 million man. Except, wait, plot twist, he says he's only getting $10 million, and that's just the beginning. Between intense mitt work, inspirational speeches, a shocking promoter shakeup, and no rehydration clause, this story has more plot twists than a Netflix thriller. Let's break it all down.
Day 3 of Terence "Bud" Crawford's training camp for his historic clash with Canelo Alvarez has officially dropped, and it's nothing short of ferocious. In the newly surfaced footage, Crawford isn't just training, he's making a statement. Gone is the light, quick-footed welterweight we've known for years. In his place is a visibly bulkier, more explosive version of Bud, engineered for power and precision at 168 lbs. He's hammering the mitts with mechanical accuracy, cutting angles with seasoned footwork, and delivering 5- and 6-punch combinations. With ease, every movement has purpose, every punch carries menace. There's no wasted energy, no distractions, just the kind of razor-sharp discipline that tells you this man isn't just preparing to fight, he's preparing to shock the world.
So that's right. How you know? How you know that's a lie? To fight Canelo? I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby. It's the legacy.
good.
The legacy outweighs the money. 3-time undisputed. Wait, coming soon. I might go back down to 54.
To fight who?
And do it. I might go back down and do it again.
As you hear the pound-for-pound king, Terence "Bud" Crawford, make a statement that he only getting $10 million for his mega super fight in September against Canelo Alvarez.
You're going to see the boogeyman himself, one of the most avoided fighters of the last 20 years, huh? Avoided, huh? They went after Mayweather because they knew he wasn't mean. They wanted to. And then there's the body language. Chillingly calm. Crawford's face reads like a poker master in a title hand. Focused, unreadable, lethal. But what's turning heads isn't just the footage. It's the tone of this camp. Trainer Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, never one to shy away from bold statements, shut down all weight class chatter instantly. We don't give a damn about size. Let's fight like men. That quote alone lit up fight forums, and rightly so. With no rehydration clause in place, Crawford's team knows they're stepping into the lion's den against a naturally larger, heavier Canelo. And yet, they want the smoke. All of it. But while the boxing world focused on Crawford's explosive training, something deeper began to shift in the public narrative. Just days before the footage went viral, Terence Crawford took the stage as the keynote speaker at the University of Nebraska Omaha's commencement ceremony, reminding fans and critics alike that he's more than just a boxer. Wearing a sharp suit, not gloves, and standing before thousands of graduates, Crawford peeled back the curtain on his journey, from being expelled from 5 schools to being shot in the head, to ultimately rising from the concrete of North Omaha, to global boxing fame. Being from Omaha means you're a fighter, he told the crowd. I was a fighter before I became a boxer. I was a competitor before I put on gloves. He didn't sugarcoat his past. He owned it. And when he said, "You control your own destiny," there wasn't a hint of cliché. It felt earned, lived. He urged graduates not to let setbacks define them, whether it's a bad break, a lost job, or a punch in the face, literally or figuratively. He even quoted Mike Tyson's legendary line, "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face." That moment hit home. It wasn't just a motivational speech. It was the unveiling of why this fight against Canelo is about more than titles or money. It's about fulfillment, about legacy, about proving to himself and the world that a kid from Omaha, once counted out by teachers, neighbors, and even the sport itself, can write a new chapter in boxing
We
history.
gonna see the boogeyman himself. Boogeyman himself. The most important fighter in the last 20 years. Avoid it. Huh? Avoid it. They went for Mayweather. They knew he wasn't me. They wanted
Now
to-
that speech is making the rounds on sports blogs, Reddit threads, and YouTube shorts, as fans finally begin to see the emotional stakes behind the gloves. And just when the hype couldn't get any more unpredictable, Bud dropped a bombshell. Appearing on the Ring Champs podcast with Ak and Barack, Crawford disputed reports of a $50 million payday. According to him, I got $10 million for that fight. Barack was stunned.
Mavericks in this year's graduating class. I'm proud to call Omaha my home. For everyone who came to Omaha from across the state, across the country, around the world, I don't think Chancellor Lee would mind saying you can claim Omaha as your home now.
Most fans were stunned too. How could one of the biggest pay-per-view fights of the year, against $150 million pocketing Canelo, leave Crawford with only $10 million? But Crawford wasn't fazed. When asked if he was joking, he clapped back. How do you know that's a lie? I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby. The legacy. He doubled down on what he's been saying from the start. Money doesn't matter when history's on the line. If he beats Canelo Alvarez, he becomes the first ever 3-division undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. That's not just rare, that's immortal. It's a shot at greatness that no amount of money can buy, and one that most fighters would never dare to take, especially without a size cap like a rehydration clause. The legacy outweighs it
The person
all.
who determines who win or lose is me. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. You control your own destiny. You get to determine your greatness. You have everything you need to be a champion.
Crawford's playing chess. He's risking it all, not just to be paid, but to be remembered. And if his plan works, you're looking at the new face of boxing. In one of the most controversial aspects of this super fight, Terence Crawford has agreed to face Canelo Alvarez with no rehydration clause, a decision seen as either madness or a masterpiece, depending on who you ask. Let's break it down for the casual fans. A rehydration clause is a safety net that limits how much weight a fighter can regain between the weigh-in and fight night. Without it, a naturally bigger fighter like Canelo can enter the ring significantly heavier, sometimes 15 to 20 pounds above his weigh-in weight. And Canelo isn't just any bigger fighter. He's a man who's been dominating at 168 since 2018, and has even tested the waters at 175, facing light heavyweight giants like Sergey Kovalev and Dmitry Bivol. His body is built for punishment and pressure. Crawford, meanwhile, only recently moved up to 154 after years reigning at 140 and 147. Now he's jumping 2 full divisions to face a power-punching super middleweight in Canelo's backyard. So why risk it?
What number makes sense for you? What would make sense for you? What's $50? You got $10 million. That's right. That's a lie. How you know that's a lie? To fight Canelo? Yeah. I'm doing it for the opportunity, baby.
Yeah, that's
The
good.
legacy.
Yeah.
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 You believe that?
Yeah, 100%. If he says 10 million, it's 10 million.
According to Crawford's camp, specifically his trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, it's about principle and mentality. We don't give a damn about that, Bomac told Ring magazine. If you get too big, that's on you. Let's fight
Y'all
like
weigh
men.
the money.
That's true. That's true. I respect that.
Yeah. You believe it? 3-time undisputed. Wait, coming soon.
That's when you retire because basically there's nothing you could do after that. If you were able to get 3-time undisputed, 3 different weight classes, there's nothing you can accomplish after that, right?
Yeah, he's gonna retire after that. I might go back
Unless
down
you
to
went
54.
down.
To fight who? Do it
You can't get all of them though. It's too much trying to get all of them.
I might go
He
back
didn't
down
mince
and
words. That's weak stuff. All that, oh, you can't come in at this weight. Get out of here. You made the weight. We fight. Simple. Some see that as bravado. Others see it as warrior code. A throwback to the days when fighters didn't hide behind contract clauses or tactical weight limits. In this sense, Crawford isn't just accepting the disadvantage, he's almost welcoming it. It's either an act of courage that could elevate him into legend, or a gamble that could backfire in spectacular fashion. And boxing fans? They're split. On one side, Crawford's proving he's a real one. This is about greatness. On the other, They're calling it a suicide mission. Canelo's too big, too seasoned, too powerful. Either way, the absence of a rehydration clause sets the stage for a raw, unfiltered fight night where size, strength, and skill collide without
Who's the
restriction.
hardest puncher you ever faced?
Shit, B.
Who?
B's nuts. Yes.
No. You wanted and you wanted to do all that balls in that 1995 and you got.
You thought the in-ring drama was wild? Wait till you hear what's happening behind the scenes. Originally scheduled for September 12th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, the event's location has now been thrown into disarray. A college football game booked the venue on that date, forcing organizers to shift the fight to September 13th and scramble for alternatives. But the venue isn't the only thing that's changed. Dana White, who was originally slated to co-promote the bout under the brand new TKO boxing banner, a bold partnership between UFC, WWE, and Saudi backers, is now completely out of the picture. Sources close to the deal say Turki Al-Sheikh, Saudi Arabia's powerful boxing patron and the driving force behind Riyadh's season, has handed full promotional control to Sela, the Saudi entertainment group. So what happened? Insiders speculate that White's removal stems from logistical conflicts. Allegiant Stadium was supposed to be the showpiece venue, and with that gone, so was the leverage for TKO Boxing's big debut. Add in creative differences, business politics, and broadcasting issues, and Dana White was quietly removed from the driver's seat. Now, Sela is in full control, with Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and New York City in contention for the new venue. The broadcaster is still undecided, but one thing's for sure, it's not going to Netflix. This will be a pay-per-view event, and sources say the bidding war between networks is still in play. It's not just a fight anymore, it's a global, entertainment product. And as always, boxing politics are as bruising as the punches. This brings us to the most fascinating twist in the Crawford narrative. The paradox of the man himself. On one hand, you've got the destroyer in the gym, blasting through pads, shadow boxing with bad intentions, throwing 5-punch combinations with the rhythm of a metronome, a fighter's fighter. On the other, a suited-up philosopher standing in front of graduates at the University of Nebraska, Omaha, quoting Mike Tyson and reflecting on life, legacy, and purpose. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, he told the crowd. But if you keep working, you'll win. The quote went viral, not because it was clever, but because it was real. Spoken not from a pulpit, but from experience.
That's what needs you. Oh, you can't come in this much and shit. I'll make it fuck out of here. It's fine. You got on the scale, I made the weight, regardless when I come back. Hey, you accepted the fight, let's get in there and fight like me. Simple as that.
He didn't
Who has literally been punched in the face more times than he can count, and who was once told no boxer would ever come out of Omaha. Now he's the keynote speaker, the headliner, and potentially the most historic fighter of the modern era. Fans and analysts are divided. Is this Crawford 2.0, a reinvented, matured champion poised to defy the odds and change history? Or is it performance art, an elaborate pre-fight image makeover designed to soften the crowd and fuel pay-per-view sales? Regardless, it's working. People who once doubted him are tuning in. Audiences who wrote him off as inactive or entitled are now watching his every move, both in the gym and behind the mic. And the question lingers, which Crawford will show up on September 13th? The tactician, the street-born survivor, the motivational speaker, or some rare fusion of all three? In every major fight, there's always more at stake than just belts. And in this one, the narrative itself has become a war zone.
Fight fans, the Alvarez-Crawford showdown just got spicier. No rehydration clause, that's huge. Alvarez could be packing an extra 20 pounds of power on fight night. But here's the million-dollar question. Will it matter against Crawford's supreme skills? Some say Crawford's too small, others say he's too slick. It's like David versus Goliath, but both are knockout artists. Will Crawford dance circles around Alvarez, or will Alvarez's size advantage crush Crawford's dreams?
Critics haven't held back. They say Crawford hasn't earned this shot at super middleweight. He skipped the line, didn't take on David Benavidez, who many believe is the real threat to Canelo. He didn't test himself against David Morrell, the Cuban powerhouse tearing through the division, nor did he consider a high-risk warm-up fight against John Beck Connolly, another rising boogeyman in the 160 to 168-pound landscape. For some purists, That's enough reason to label this fight a mismatch. Legacy hype with little current merit. But Crawford's defenders, and there are many, see it completely differently. To them, this isn't about beating names for a resume. It's about doing what no man in boxing has ever done. Becoming the first fighter in the four-belt era to become undisputed in 3 separate divisions. That's not just legacy, that's immortality. And Crawford's own words echo that sentiment. "The moment I became champ," he said, "I didn't celebrate. I asked, what's next?" This is what's next. It's a statement that captures the essence of his career. Always pushing, never satisfied, never settling for the ordinary. While others chase paydays in the spotlight, Crawford is chasing a place in the pantheon of greats. Maybe, just maybe, that's why he didn't go through Benavidez or Morrell. Because when the history books are written, it won't matter how he got to Canelo. It will only matter what he did once he stepped in the ring with him. Thank you guys for watching my video, and subscribe to my channel for new updates.